Hello and welcome to another Last Epoch build. Today I have a pure melee ManifestArmor build for you guys. We kinda mentioned it a while ago. Decided to try it out. This build doesn't have a shield throw, so we're getting our AoE from ForgeStrike. But before I keep talking about the build, as always, a huge thanks to all the people who like, comment and subscribes. You guys are still awesome. So, into the build. This build uses Animate Armor. He's our bodyguard, but we have a bunch of little bodyguards as well. We use ForgeStrike, summon a bunch of weapons. We deal very reduced damage, so our damage is gonna be the pets, but we will be spamming the ForgeStrike to get more minions. We're extremely tanky. We take, I think, around 60% reduced damage from everything when we have their bolster up, so when we're attacking with Vengeance we get a lot of less damage, and we just basically attack and let the minions finish everything. Although if we don't really look at the numbers, it feels like we're jumping from minion to minion and two-shotting everything. It's true that our minions are doing the killing, but we don't have to know that. They're just company, you know. We're attacking as well. But as you see, if you notice my hits, they're actually tickling them. But that gives me bolster, and I have a lot of defense. I can't really die if I'm in combat. Alright, so let's look for the enemy. Basically all we have to do is keep the sigils up. As we're walking, you can just use it. We have the instacast sigil. And when you see that there's a big bunch, you use your ForgeStrike a couple of times. Summon some minions, jump to the next enemy, hit him, get the mana up with Vengeance, get your defenses up with Vengeance. And then just ForgeStrike, summon more minions. Enemies over here. When we see a bunch, we just ForgeStrike a couple of times. Get those allies up, the weapons. You need to find a nice two-hander with a lot of crit on it, so your Animate Armor will crit all the time. I still don't have that yet. I need 2 more levels to get it. I have 1, but it's level 74, so I need to wait a little bit for that. But once I equip it, the ManifestArmor will crit all the time, and it does stupid amounts of damage when it crits. His normal autos don't really do that much damage, but the crits are insane. Because he has that unique boost that gives him a bunch of plus crit percent. The boss is here. I'll tell my ManifestArmor to attack him, should be done in no time. And that's it. Alright guys, the boss is up, so let's try and kill him really quickly. He's a pretty scary dragon, I hate that ability. So let's try and get him. Okay, what I have to do here is summon my minions and get out of his face, because he does a crap ton of damage. Make sure my sigils are always up, so my minions deal extra damage. Okay, he stopped making more minions to get out of his breath. He's doing that thing, I have to get out. Don't really have a lot of mobility, so I need to be thinking about when he is about to do it and get away. I can stand in pretty much all other damage, but that breath kills me instantly. It's a one-shot mechanic, I think. Get out. And get in. Have to dance a bit with the guy. As you see, when they're hitting him, his health goes down pretty quickly. You can see that sometimes the big hits from Animate Armor, they show his health gets a huge bump down. Getting all my potions there. To get some potions back. Come on, Animate Armor, get him please. There we go, and he's dead. Alright, for this build we're running Lunge, ForgeStrike, ManifestArmor, Vengeance, and Sigil of Hope. We're using Lunge as our little bit of healing and movement around. We also cast Frailty, so we get less damage from the minions. And it's basically our move around the map ability. We're using ForgeStrike. The ForgeStrike is used to create the weapons mainly. And we're going for no cooldown, and we buff our weapons, and then we give it more area. So we hit a bigger area, we summon more weapons. We need to summon them as quickly as we can, because we're hitting something that summons the weapon here. As you see, the little weapon, the blade, we can summon up to 12 if I'm not mistaken, and they will be assisting on the AoE damage. So that's the build for the ForgeStrike, just some area. Animate armor, manifest armor, sorry, we're going for all the stats. 4 out of 4 of the helmet, boots and gloves. This will make manifest armor wear 3 times our helmet, 3 times our boots, 3 times our gloves, and eventually twice our chest, because I still have some points to put in, and I will put 1 more point in the platemate, so we give it he will be wearing 2 armor. We took 1 point here for force of impact. We get 1 more damage per 10 armor or chest. This will buff his base damage a little bit. Then we go for damage and equip a mace. This will give him our weapon. And for weapon, we want a weapon with as much base crit as we can, so it will crit all the time. For Vengeance, this is a defensive Vengeance. As I'm attacking here with Vengeance, I'll get this bolster, which gives me a buff. I take 25% less damage, and I have increased armor, making him super tanky. So we go 2 points travel and executioner, 1 point feint strike, travel. Armor shred, this will help our minions deal more damage. We're shredding their armor and their fire protection. Increased effect of armor shred. Armor shred applies to riposte as well, so when we get hit back, we will riposte and shred even more armor. And then the fire shred is turned into physical shred, so we take away all the physical damage, because our manifest armor will deal physical damage. Then bolster, obviously really good, 50% increased armor, 25% less damage. Then I have 1 post here, which riposte hits cannot crit, we can be critted. And then I'll go for attack speed as last points. The Sigil of Hope, standard Sigil of Hope, we want the instant cast, we want the more damage. This is the travel for the instant cast. We want some fire damage, 2 points travel and armor. We want the duration eventually plus 10, so I need to put 1 point here. Maximum sigils plus 1, and the last point I'll just put in ignite. Talent tree, Sentinel, 20 points. Obviously, the reduced damage taken by 10%. I went for vitality. You could get the strength. You get more bonus from attunement, but strength is not bad, and the resistances are good. And then 5 points here, because we want our vengeance to give us the mana. We'll gain the mana, have mana to spend on our sigils and our ForgeStrike. Then we go into the Forge Guard. We can get up. We get the physical resistant increased armor when we get hit. This means when we're getting hit, we're gonna have a lot of resistance and a lot of armor. A bunch of travel points here to get to Hammer and Anvil. We will be in Anvil stance all the time. We're not gonna use any throw weapon. Anvil stance, we deal 25% less damage, but that's fine, it doesn't affect our minions. And we get 25% less damage. So we will be a lot more tanky. 25% from here, 10% from here, and 25% from bolster, 60% reduced damage from all sources. And then I went 5 points in bleed, chance, and ignite. You could max this, get more bleed and more ignite. We're gonna have a lot of weapons attacking all the time. We're gonna have a two-hander, so our chance is doubled, so you will stack bleed and ignites a lot on this build. But I don't think this is that great. It's a buff in damage, yes, but I think there's points elsewhere that we're better off with. You got attunement and armor, 10 points folded steel, a must for manifest armor, it gives it base physical damage, and it gives forged weapons melee physical damage. So they will get a lot of base damage, and we get 2 more forged weapons. It will increase our damage by a lot. 2 points travel here, this doesn't do anything for us, and then we get 150% extra health, 150% extra armor on our minions. It will increase our minion defenses a lot. Over to Paladin, we want Sigils of Hope. So 8 points in attunement, extremely good for us. Resistance is really good. Some health and blind chance and endurance, making us even more tanky. Then I'm going into Void Guard, I'll max this, more health, more void resist, more physical resist. Remaining points you can spend pretty much on tankiness. You can get the Smelter's Might up, more bleed, more ignite, more damage. And of course the 2 points and more band and more endurance to boost ourselves up. Remaining points you can just put in health, necrotic resistance, wherever you want really. Maybe some attunement, maybe some strength, maybe some more. There's some health here. You decide where you want to spec. For gear you want to find a weapon like this one, which has high base crit. This one has 10% base crit, and then you give it another 9. It gives us 19% crit in total. The animate armor has 5% crit on itself, so that's 14% to crit base, and then you have some increased crit, and it gets 100% crit really easily. You will want your bracelet to have a lot of crit, base crit and crit on itself, give it attack speed. Your chest you want to have increased melee damage, of course +1 to ForgeStrike is really nice, some health regeneration and health. Your helmet, increased melee damage, +2 to ManifestArmor is really good, health regeneration and health. And your boots, you want these boots, the Soul Run Step. You can make the build without it, but this one will give it 90% melee crit multiplier, max is 105, so that's 300% increased melee crit multiplier, so he will hit like a truck. This for 5 pieces of gear, so the weapon, the helmet, the chest, the gloves and the boots are gonna be worn by our ManifestArmor, so we need to increase the damage as if he's equipping them. The remaining, the rings, increased melee damage, attunement, health regeneration, increased minion damage, increased minion health, endurance, health regeneration, belt, minion damage, minion health, you get the rest. Health, attunement, health regeneration and minion damage. Same with the necklace. For idols, you just want resistances and health regeneration, health, resistances. Those 2 are only here for the physical resistance. And that's it. I hope you try this build out. It's really fun, and good luck. See you guys next week. Bye bye.